welcome to another episode of Mentor Me Mondays. So tonight we're doing things a little bit different. What we're going to have is just a lovely reel of the best parts of our dear friend Lawson, talking superannuation, things financial, and yeah, we hope you enjoy. Keep watching.
You just made. So if you're earning, let's use $100,000 for argument's sake a year, your employer puts in 12% of that. So technically, when somebody says I earn $100,000, your full package is actually $112,000. Okay. The $12,000 goes into super. $100,000 is what you get and gets taxed by the taxman. That contribution of 12%, most employers, obviously, they take it out of your package or they show that on your payslip every fortnight. It usually goes in maybe once every 3 months. They actually send it to the super fund. Some send it regularly. When it goes into super, it is taxed at 15%. So that's all contributions going in. Not all, by the way. Sorry, I'll just explain. So personal contributions come in two forms. One, you can actually tell your employer that you want to salary sacrifice.
Okay.
All right, which basically means you're opting to have some more, an additional amount of contributions paid into your super before you get paid.
Okay.
So
pre-tax.
Pre-tax. So your $100,000.
Okay.
I want X amount to be put in. Now, so that means that you are getting a tax benefit for it. Mm-hmm. Those particular contributions are actually called concessional contributions. Okay, so concessional contributions just means they'll be taxed at 15% and you may get a tax benefit and the employers put in some. That includes employer contributions, right? So there's a cap for that. There's $30,000 in total a year that can be put in. So if you're earning $100,000, 12% of that is $12,000. That means you've got another, how much is that? $18,000. So you could either well done. you could either sign up.
Any question I can answer tonight.
Yeah, so you could either put in an additional $18,000 if you can afford it, and but pre-tax. So that basically means you're getting a benefit for that, and you'll pay 50% going in. Really for self-employed people, they may put in that money and claim a tax deduction after the fact. Okay. Whereas for you as an employee, they'll take it out and it will show it will reflect that on your payslip. And to show that you've paid less tax. So that's what makes, that's one part of personal contributions with under concessional contributions. Yeah. You can actually put in personal contributions with your own savings after tax dollars. That's called a non-concessional contribution. Okay, so you've already paid tax on it. You decide you want to put in extra money. When it goes into the super fund, it doesn't pay any tax because you've already paid You've already paid tax.
Okay.
You've already paid tax on it. Okay. For that, you can put in up to $110,000 a year. Right. Or you can bring forward 3 years and pay $330,000 if you've got money. Okay. So that's one part of it. And just to go back on the pre-tax ones, if for the last 5 years you haven't been putting in the concessional cap has gone up over the years. It was 27.5, it's now 30. So you can, if you haven't maxed out that 30 grand, you can look back 5 years and carry forward those amounts and actually just pay in a lump sum to cover the 5 years you haven't actually kept it.
Okay.
Is there any risk to that?
What's the risk? There's always risk in everything. However, okay, so from a contribution point of view, if you're making personal contributions or concessional contributions, you're getting a tax benefit. So, and number two, you're growing your superannuation. Yeah, that's the second part. In superannuation, yes, there's ups and downs and how the investments that you invested in, but we're assuming you're going to be there for a long time. So, there's always going to be that. There's always going to be ups and downs in any investment. Okay. But over the long term, and how you invested actually matters. Yeah. All right. And the other thing is, even when the markets are down, you're continuing to contribute. So you're actually buying when the markets are low. So when the markets are going back up, your super balance should look really nice.
That's true, yeah. So what's the simplest way to start making extra contributions?
Okay. So we'll touch on another part of financial planning. So depending on your budget, I guess, on how you're spending your money, what you're earning, it's important to actually sit down and make an effort to say, look, I say to people, it's not a lot of money that you need to put in. Even if you start putting in an additional $50, it still compounds over time, $100 or whatever you can save. So or you can afford to put in, the sooner you start, the better.
Yeah.
Because if you actually think of it in terms of what you have as your wealth as a young person, the truth is that 20 or 21, if you're not a good saver, your biggest asset is actually your super fund. Because it's for savings.
Yeah.
Somebody's putting money away for you on your behalf because it's compulsory. So if you look at what you've got in your bank and what you've got in your super, chances are you probably got more money in that. Remember, people start working at 15 in Australia, 16. So even if we say you're earning enough money and you've been only contributing from the age of 18, by 20 you've got 2 years of contributions and growth. 21, 25, so you're not too young. So the younger you start, the better.
Immigrant to Australia who was very skeptical, probably from Africa. Very skeptical about this super thing. So they've got a question, right? Which I also had these questions initially when I first came to Australia. What are the key benefits of making extra contributions to super, even small amounts over long term? And is there an example that you have?
Yeah, there is a benefit of doing that. Well, for an immigrant or skilled migrant, let's take that. Like you, Johnny, to an extent, you're both. You're everything, actually. Come to Australia, you're already a set of skills. You got a job, you study work, and you're a certain age. So let's just say Johnny came and arrived in Australia, and he was 30 years old.
Yep.
So if we take an Australian Johnny, we say the same journey. Did an apprenticeship or trade, started working at the age of 16, has done a trade and were fully qualified at 20. They've had super since they were 16.
Yeah.
They've been contributing for the last 14 years. So by the time you fly in from wherever you're coming in, you've got zero balance in super. They've got a significant amount of superannuation by that time, even if they're not making personal contributions. Yep. So number one, it's important now that you've, the things I'll be talking about this is a very important part of your journey to Australia.
Yeah.
And again, as I said, you don't have a choice, right? You're working, your employer is going to put this way, so it's important that you are actually engaged and you understand. Strangely enough, most immigrants understand retirement.
Yep.
They understand the fact that you need a pension.
Yes.
Because some are coming from countries that no longer have that.
That's
so they
true.
understand that. So the struggle is really playing catch up.
Yeah.
So the conversation is around, all right, this is where we are, you're earning decent money, the contributions are being made. Can you salary sacrifice? Or put in extra money into super? Can you make additional contributions? It's important because at that time, I'm thinking I've lost 14 years.
You've got to play catch up.
I've got to play catch up for 35 years. Let's work on that. And if you're a woman that's going to get married and have kids, you're going to be off work for a period of time. So you'll find that balances may differ there for people that then take maternity leave. You don't have income at that time, and there's no contributions going in. So it's important to be engaged. But you've started early. You've got contributions.
Yeah.
It still matters at the end of the day. So I don't know if that's answered the question on what do you do. Yes, be engaged.
Yep.
Employer contributions are going in. Make any extra contributions you can.
Yep.
Again, I'll refer to the fact that that's probably in the beginning. If you're an immigrant, you don't have anything in your saving to buy a house or whatever. That's probably your biggest savings when you arrive here, because your employer has already started putting in contributions on your behalf.
So what's the general rule of thumb though? Which one would you go with? Before tax or after tax, or like?
Both, if you can.
Okay. Do both.
Yeah, because one, you've got, that's why there's caps, right? The before tax, which is concessional contributions, depending on how much you're earning, because obviously if you're earning a large amount of money, you're probably going to be closer to that cap of $30,000. So you can only salary sacrifice or pay before tax contributions of a certain amount, right?
Okay. Yeah.
But if you've got room to move, then put in that, because you're getting a tax benefit, so it makes sense. and look, the limit is 30,000, so you're not going to be going beyond that. But so if you want to put in extra, then the after tax dollars come into play.
Okay.
So if you can do both, that's one, you've maxed that, you get a tax benefit for it because you're paying less tax outside super, and then, oh look, I've got a little bit of extra dollars I can put in, then why not?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good to know.
That's how I'll look. I'll do both depending on your situation. But yeah.
Well, yeah, when things go good, you get like a lump sum of money. You just put that lump sum in there.
That's it, because that's the thing. Sometimes you go buy a luxury vehicle, or do you put money in super? You know,
That's true.
there's different situations where it becomes quite handy because there's going to be some tax of some sort that you have to pay. So if it can benefit you in some way, that's the double benefit. One, you get a tax benefit. Number two, you grow in your superannuation for your future retirement.